Hey guys, so this is a little bit overdue. We have been surprised with the number of people who subscribed to the channel recently, and it's great to have you all joining us for the journey. Thank you so much for coming along. Okay, long story short, we don't particularly like doing chores on the boat, like the maintenance and the cleaning.
Yeah, there's a lot of jobs that don't get done, so we were trying to think how we could kind of encourage ourselves to actually do the things that we hate doing.
And we thought, why not tie that in with some kind of Q&A type thing, so that we get to introduce a bit more about ourselves for you guys to know us. And
then it's forced to do chores because you know about it now, so we're gonna have to.
Really don't want to do them.
So we've come up with a game because hating chores, but we love cake.
Absolutely.
So we thought let's bribe ourselves with some chocolate and we'll try and get them done.
Cake and chocolate. So we are going to play a game. This is Q&A, Cake or Death.
Cake or death. Cake or death.
Copyright. Basically, we came up with a little bit of a game. So the idea is we have 6 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And each round is 2 cakes. Yep. And what's the deal again? I don't really know. Barely made up again.
We'll see if it works. Basically, I just wanted to eat some cake. So we're going to choose a cake each. And on the bottom of it, there is a question that some of you have asked. But on the other cake, there is a chore that one of us has to do. So
okay, so it's like a 3, 2, 1, pick a cake, and then we discover if it's good or bad. And if it's bad, we still have cake.
Exactly. You see?
This
it's like,
work.
A little boost. Okay, first round.
So first round.
These 2 cakes. Which one are you having?
Okay. It's just got real. Okay. I'm going to go one closest to me first.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
3,
2,
1.
Chore!
Get in question.
Okay, so I need to do the grocery shopping this week, which is not usually that much of a big deal, but because we live on a boat, we have to take the dinghy to shore, which again is fine. But the grocery store is never right next to the dinghy dock, so you have to walk 40 minutes to get to the store, and then I always buy as much stuff as I can carry, forgetting that it's then a 40-minute walk back, and then, it'll probably rain or the wave will hit you in the dinghy and everything gets wet.
And anything that needs to be in the fridge is also in a cool bag, but it's already boiling by the time you get back. In fact, one of the grocery stores here, you literally walk the length of a runway and some to get to the shop.
Yeah, and I always hope that there's going to be it's fine, I'll just get a bus on the way back. And then, of course, the buses are never running when I actually go to do it. So
you're carrying the shopping? I didn't have to go to the shop.
Yay.
Can I go to Chandler instead?
That would be easier.
I'm not very helpful when it comes to shopping because, what's the word? When I hunger shop? No. It's when we arrive, basically, if I'm hungry, I just pick up all the chocolate and sweets.
And you're always hungry.
Hey.
Okay, question.
Okay, question. So, this one came from Jody D. How do you know how to fix all this stuff? I mean...
Short answer, we don't.
Not a clue. I'm guessing this refers to things like the batteries and the solar and all the stuff that's happening in the last couple of episodes. Yeah. So when we got Indy, she's led a very tough life.
We have to look after her. She's been through a lot.
Yeah, we jokingly refer to her as a rescue cat. Basically, we love her, and the hope is she'll stop scratching us and start loving us back. Unfortunately, that means adding lots of kit, repairing the things that have been broken over the years, because she's 17 years old now, something like that. And bits fall off and bits break.
Some more crucial than others.
Pretty much. Yeah, there's been a couple of bad stories like that. But so most of the time when it comes to fixing stuff, we're just guessing. Google is obviously very helpful in that respect.
Yeah. And to be fair, the sailing community is just ridiculously amazing. And you will meet a whole ton of people, and generally people have already made the same mistakes that you have, so they can teach you about how not to do that. Yeah. Or, some disasters happen to them and they can share their experience. So people are very good at sharing their own stories.
Yeah, it's probably my favourite part of cruising is that whenever you get together, it's not about boasting of how good you are at something, but actually everyone's stories are just one-upping how bad things have gone. So it's oh, we crashed into a boat. Oh, wait till you hear what we crashed into. And actually, as a result, you learn heaps. And we've been lucky. We've met some incredible people who know a lot about this particular model of boat as well as others, and they're more than willing to help us out. Mm-hmm. Probably just take compassion on this because we're fools, to be honest.
Yeah, no, we'd be very lucky. I think also knowing like what the crucial mistakes are. So generally knowing what we're allowed to have a go at, and we like to have a go at as much as possible, but knowing, oh, that's not going to be really terrible if you try it and everything goes wrong. It then just gives us the freedom to try stuff the first time round, knowing that, well, then we can ask someone else for help later.
And there haven't been too many deadly sparks. There have been some.
There have been some, but we're alive!
We're still alive, we're still in one piece, so it can't be that bad. And even the batteries didn't fry when I had that little moment. Anyway, so yeah, overall been pretty good.
Okay, next round.
Oh, you're going, oh, interesting.
I thought I'd be decisive. I'd see how it went.
All right then.
3,
2,
1.
Go.
Question!
This is probably worse for you than it is for me.
How does that work?
My chore is to make dinner.
Oh no. Yeah, I might trade.
I don't know how to cook.
He is not safe in the galley.
Well, I mean, I do know how to cook.
No, you don't.
I can cook a pizza.
A frozen pizza that has very specific instructions
It
on
says cook for 10 to 12, 11 minutes. Cook for 11 minutes.
It's not cooking.
It would be good if they provided some form of colour chart for golden browns. I never know what the colour is.
Do I have to eat dinner? No, I have cake. It's fine. I don't need any.
It's fine. I make dinner. Does that involve ordering in pizza? We'll see about this. Okay, what's the question?
Okay. This question. It seems you have seen some wild weather. What is the scariest experience you've had so far?
Oh, interesting. So, every day is a challenge on a boat, I would say. Every day you wake up and there's going to be stuff to overcome. But actually, it's always really rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I like the fact that every day we go to bed exhausted, but satisfied we did something successful with the day. Pretty much.
Yeah.
As a result, probably every day has something scary happen that you have to overcome. Whether it just be not knowing how to install batteries or fit solar or disconnecting all the power on the boat and not being sure it's all going to come back on again. That's scary, but the most scary?
Weather-wise, I'm thinking of our passage from St. Thomas to here, because it was our first overnight, just the two of us.
Yeah, oh man. Yeah.
And so it was my first experience being on a watch on my own in the dark. And the weather, I mean, it was just a ridiculous passage.
Well, we kind of got rushed out the country, which is never a good start.
Yeah.
So we had, the weather was against us. It wasn't a great weather window, but our visa had pretty much run out. I think we had a day left.
One day left.
Yeah. And the American customs and immigration officials can be a bit intimidating, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't have a lot of time to leave, so we had to go in the bad weather. We didn't have AIS or radar.
No.
Our radio didn't even work properly, I don't think.
No, and our stone light was so bright, it was just like bouncing or reflecting off the dinghy and then lighting up the whole cockpit. So we had like no night vision.
Well,
so
no, we got a black t-shirt and just duct taped it in place. So we didn't have a stern light, which is probably not a great idea.
Yeah.
We've since fixed that.
Yes. And then like we were just heading directly east. So we were like thrashing straight into the wind. It was supposed to be like 24 hours and I think it took us nearly 40.
Yeah, close enough, yeah.
And yeah, it was just...
Well, it's kind of, the weather was... So there's a thing called Christmas winds in the Caribbean, which don't really happen at Christmas. I think we went straight into them around about our departure.
I think so, yeah.
And so you're sitting at the helm in dusk, let's say, and it's just this blue wall of water that just seemed to keep going up outside of my vision, like through past the hardtop. And I just remember thinking, either we're going downhill and I'm seeing the sea in front of us, or that is just a wall of water coming towards us. And 9 times out of 10, that's what it was. The waves were huge. Yeah.
And so we had been sailing for a while, and then we decided, okay, overnight we're just going to drop the sails and motor through, because then at least rather than tacking, we can go, head straight for St. Martin and try and make some headway.
Yeah, because we didn't really know the boat that well. So we were still having... Our tacks weren't really working as we expected.
Yeah, we weren't getting great angles on it, and not really...
We were pretty much just zigzagging up and down across the same space on the map. I think we'd seen the same bit of floor 5 times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we eventually said, screw this, down with the sails, because the wind was picking up as well.
Yeah, it got to, I think, 49 knots. And that is apparent, but we were only making 1.5 knots of headway.
So it was 48 knots.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, I was just like, I've got the engines in as full as I want to, leave them running for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
and I'm making a knot and a half of progress. Like, we're just never going to get there. We're just going to live at sea forever.
Well, I was off shift. I went to sleep actually on this table. It drops down and becomes a bed. So I was sleeping here, and I remember waking up after my shift of sleep, checking our little Navionics app, and the little line of progress. I don't think it even moved the size of the little arrow that was the boat in the right direction. And then when we did finally get ourselves sailing a bit more appropriately, we found ourselves sailing towards the wrong country multiple times. We almost landed in Saba, which is not where we were aiming for. Then we ended up going up past Anguilla.
Yeah.
And then cutting across the Anguilla Channel and being a bit unsure if that was allowed or not. So that was an awkward arrival at night.
Like, it wasn't awful. It was just, for our first big passage.
It was a baptism of fire, but you know what? It put everything else in perspective.
It did. Everything else has been easy.
Every time you get hit with like 40 knots, who cares?
No bother.
Okay.
Right, cake.
I'm going to go this side this time.
Oh, brave.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, what?
Yes.
Oh, this is nasty. Okay, I have to clean the fridge. Okay, this probably requires some explanation. Our fridge is a marine, like a boat fridge. It has a drain in the bottom for the condensation and the ickiness. However, again, in diesel old boat and bits fall off. The drain cover that's underneath that stops the sea coming back into the fridge ain't then there. So
when we go sailing, like big waves will hit the underside of the boat and they'll just splash right up into the fridge. So everything gets covered with salt water. There's probably like some vegetables in there that we've forgotten about.
There's some fish in there we haven't seen. It's probably like a geyser every time we get hit by a big wave. Come to think of it, we should leave the door open.
Yeah, just have a watch for some entertainment.
That'd be great. But it does mean it's quite stinky and there's funny colours.
Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to do that. Have fun.
That's rubbish.
Question. Nice solar panels. Can you walk on them?
Oh, this is fun. So yeah, we just did the solar install 2 videos. The last video, I think. Last week. So yeah, okay. The solar panels are an interesting one because they're flexible solar panels, which have mixed reviews. A lot of people don't like flexible solar panels because they say they have a shorter lifespan, and they're probably right.
Yeah.
Partly because most people put them on top of like soft top monohulls. So they're moving around in the wind and flexing lots, whereas ours are glued down.
Yeah, so although they're flexible, and when we were carrying them up, I was absolutely terrified the wind was going to catch it and bend it too much, and I was going to get things snapping. You just did a pirouette in the wind, actually. It was like, ah! But now that they are, bent ever so slightly to the curve of our hardtop, they're, like you say, glued in place, and they ain't going anywhere.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we used up so many tubes of that glue on them. That's insane. So, like, they're glued down, they're screwed down, they're pretty much touching a solid surface underneath. So, technically, yes, we can walk on them. There's no moving space inside the panel itself, and it's on a hard surface.
Yeah, so they wouldn't flex too much as you stepped on them, but I still feel like...
Why?
I don't need to.
Yeah. Like,
we left a channel in between the two sides so that we could get to the boom and access the sail or the stack pack or do any work with lines and stuff. Yeah. So... if there's a channel there and I don't have to walk on them, then I'm not going to. No, and I may have glanced a foot on a panel every so often when we're fighting with the stack pack to put the sail away at the end of the night and things like that. But at the end of the day, why stand on them if they're doing their job? And I'll admit, when I put my foot on one, it made a funny popping sound, which I'm sure is the glue. It was the glue in an air pocket. It wasn't the panel. Or just like breaking your toe or something. That's happened like 3 times already. That's fine. But yeah, so we don't really stand on them. We have a bit of a funny setup for that, and maybe someday we'll go into more detail because, again, there's no right way to do it, and everyone has an opinion. And we just went with the way that worked for us. Yeah. So yeah, flexi panels on the hardtop. We could walk on them, but we try not to. Yeah. Okay, next up. I feel like... They're getting worse. The chores are going to get worse as we go down. They're definitely getting worse. Yeah, make dinner, clean the fridge. That is getting worse. For me, anyway. For you, it's already bad. Yeah. Okay. I don't know anymore. I don't want to choose. I don't want it to be my fault. I don't like it because I like cake. And this is making cake scary. Oh, this is backfired. It's supposed to make the chores better. 3, 2, 1. Question. Chore. I have to do the laundry now. That's no easy task either, actually. It's not. Like, we don't have a washing machine. So we have a bucket and we have
We have fresh water.
We do have fresh water, yeah. I'm not hardcore enough to do it in the sea, which I know some people do. But it's like an all-day task. And I get sunburned every single time I do it because I forget that I'm outside in the sun because I don't want to have a bucket of water inside the boat.
No.
Yeah, and it's just not like one of those jobs that in a house you just like, oh, I'll just bung it in and forget about it and hang it up when it's done. It's just, it's a whole thing.
It's funny because you probably have seen pictures of this, but cruisers have like washing day. And that's when the entire boat, what was it Joe used to say? The boat looks like downtown Bangkok. That was his phrase. Suddenly the boat, every lifeline, rope, rail on the entire boat is covered in wet laundry.
Yeah, it dries super quick though, so at least that's a good thing.
So it's just flapping around all day long because you forget and you don't go out to get it because you're busy using the bucket to clean up the next load to go up. So yeah, that's a whole day task.
I mean, I need this cake for like the energy.
So my question here is actually a really good one. This one was from Eric T. And I actually remember this one coming in. So he wrote to us asking, so my daughter expressed concerns about pirates when we talked about moving onto a boat. Do you carry or feel the need to carry firearms?
Oh, interesting.
This is a really interesting conversation point because it comes up more frequently than you might expect.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever really talked about firearms. Like, living in Scotland, it's not really a topic you need to think about. And since moving onto a boat, a lot of people assume.
Yeah, it's weird. There's two camps, in my opinion. This is all just my opinion, but there's two camps. There's the people who feel the need for firearms for defense, and the people who see firearms as a risk on board. Because, and I fall in that camp more, to be honest, because if we have a firearm of any sort on the boat, or a weapon, frankly, if I'm going to use that as a deterrent for somebody who might board us and I don't want them on the boat, well, there's every chance they can get it from me and use it back against me. So I don't really want to intimidate somebody if they're going to take the gun or the weapon or whatever it is and turn around and use it on me. No chance. So yeah, we choose not to, for that reason and others, to carry firearms on board. It's also illegal in a lot of countries to have them on a boat.
Yeah.
Most of the countries where you might want to have some form of weapon, they take it off you at check-in and give it back when you leave. So you don't have it when you might think you need it anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's kind of our thing. We decided that we don't need them on board. It's really just a foreign concept. We have got other safeties in place though.
Oh, I was thinking, we haven't tried this, but somebody did recommend basically just looking mad when you turn up in a sketchy kind of anchorage.
It's great. This is a genius idea. So their suggestion was, when you arrive in Anchorage, if you think it might be a bit sketchy, all you need to do is strip naked, mess up your hair, pick up a rusty knife from the galley, and then walk around the deck making funny noises and banging off anything you see that's metal. Yelling
at random.
Basically be drunk, obnoxious, naked, and slightly awkward looking and scary. Everyone will leave you alone. No one's going to come mess with you,
weird.
Right? Yeah. So no one's going to mess with you if you do that. I'm not sure if I'm brave enough to do that yet. But we haven't been in a situation where we've had to be honest.
No.
Almost every time we've been anywhere where I've been a little bit concerned, it's been spun around on me perfectly, and you discover how wonderful people are.
Yeah,
we were in Grenada, and the local drug dealer turned up, and I was like, hey, how's it going? And he said, just a heads up, you need your mask here. Oh, thanks very much.
Yeah.
So, it's always the case. If you think people are threatening, if you just say hi, it diffuses it so quickly, and you realize everyone's just out to make friends.
Yeah, totally.
I think, anyway. It's worked us so far. Is this the scary round, or is the next one the really scary round?
This is the really awful job that, like, all the rest of the chores, we know we have to do them at some point, and they do get done. Underneath the grand prize of the chocolate bar is just the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
I might just choose not to even play that round.
But I really want that chocolate bar. Chocolate is a rarity out here for us. Yeah. So yeah, that would be nice. Okay.
Okay, final cake.
You pick.
I can't remember which one you took last time, and if there's any kind of thinking behind the pattern.
I can't remember. Oh, you're gonna regret that.
I really am.
3, 1.
Yes!
Bummer.
What are you gonna do?
I gotta clean the bilge.
That's always my job because I'm the little one and I get to fit in the tiny space. And now you get to see how horrible it is. really horrible in there.
Well, it's worse because we just had an oil spill.
Yeah.
In the bilge. Our engine just decided, one of our engines just said, I don't like this black stuff.
I don't need it.
And so it peed all of its oil out, and it's still a bit of an oil slick down there in the bilge. And I was going to make you climb down there with a mug and some sponges and soap. And
at least I gave you a cake.
Yeah.
It's like this really tiny space next to the fuel tank and then under the steps of the companionway, and you're kind of just, it's not a fun place to be.
Just saying. Yeah, that one's mine too.
Whoa!
Well, I could. Ha!
Whoa, this game is not working out for me.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we lost the question.
Where was the question?
I think it's underneath this one.
Is it? Sorry. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. My partner and I are thinking of selling up and setting sail. What is the worst part of living on a boat?
Don't say me.
Cleaning the bilge.
Yeah, actually, I'll give you that. What's the worst part of living on a boat? That's tricky.
I mean, it works both ways because you're on your own and you're isolated so much that when you do achieve things and you fix things that you didn't know how to fix and you learn new skills, it's this like huge feeling of accomplishment and, you've met the challenge. But at the same time, there's occasions where it would be nice to have a bit more help and not just be on your own and only have yourselves to rely on.
Yeah, it's funny because I would say everything about living on a boat is a little bit harder than living on land.
Yeah.
The rewards are bigger, for sure. The back garden, backyard changes every day.
Yeah.
And you get to enjoy sunshine a lot of the time, and you can swim, and you have your own private, massive swimming pool.
Yeah.
It's really cool, but every day comes with some new challenges. And to be honest, I don't know if it's the hardest part, but it's probably a harsh reality, is all the passions that you have. Like, we're both passionate musicians, creative people. We like to do lots of things with laptops and technology and everything else. But actually, all of that budget has to go on the third crew member. The boat. The boat has got us here safely, continues to keep us safe as we are not on the bottom of the seabed right now.
Yeah.
And so, if the boat groans and says it needs a new thing, that's where the money goes that week. And it can even be that's where the money, instead of going on chocolate and ice cream and all things nice, go on winch blocks. Line.
It's really upsetting when you think of it that way and you're like, we get so excited over a new piece of line.
Oh, look, a new Marlon tea bath. Never thought I'd say that anymore.
Oh, I wish I didn't care so much about toilets.
There you go. So it's funny, but that's probably, I know it's the hardest part, but it was certainly a hard learning curve, realizing that you have to be prepared to give up, I guess is the word.
Yeah. Certain
aspects of life that are just great fun on land, but there's different responsibilities now. It's like having a giant kid who's constantly broken.
I don't think it's like that at all.
I've never had a kid. I don't know. I don't know. You're the teacher.
Okay.
The big one.
This is it. You brave enough?
No.
How are we doing it? Rock, paper, scissors.
Sure. Rock, paper, scissors. I feel like I'm winning so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. How many rounds? 2? One round?
You can't do it on 2 rounds. Just get half the bar each and then...
On 3 or after 3?
I don't know. After 3.
1, 2, 3, show?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
This could go on for a while.
1, 2, 3.
No!
Yes, get in!
No!
This is mine. Which means 3.
Okay, what am I doing?
2.
Just tell me.
Oh, this is bad. Okay, question first.
No.
And I'm going to tell you what you're doing.
No!
Question is, Joseph K. has asked, I'm still amazed that you managed to leave everything behind and go on this adventure. Do you ever miss home? Do you ever miss home?
In different ways. Like, I miss our families and our friends, and I had an awesome job, which was really sad to leave my school. But, we can still stay connected with them, with everybody online, and we've met a whole bunch more friends through doing this journey.
Absolutely.
And the experiences that we have gained from doing this have just been insane so far. I could never have imagined half the stuff that we've got to do in the last year.
No, it's insane. And it's constantly a new experience, a new adventure every single day. It's weird. Home is like, I don't know, maybe it's because of how I grew up, but to me, this is home. So it's kind of weird to be like, do you ever miss home? Do you ever miss where we used to live on land? I mean, that place was a nightmare. We lived in this apartment in the sort of dodgier end of town in a city called Glasgow. And I wouldn't say I'm desperate to rush back there.
No.
But the people that we knew there
Yeah.
and around us in that place and family and so on, that I do probably miss a little bit. Like you say, we got WhatsApp, you got email, you've got Zoom. It's actually been helped for the last 2 years because everyone's been doing Zoom meetings and chats anyway.
Yeah, it's been weird because nobody has been able to come out and visit us or come and stay with us and see how we're living. And I thought that was going to be such a big part of this journey.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when we left, everybody was in lockdown and everybody was missing each other. And so the fact that we were suddenly so far away from our family and friends was lessened because everybody was kind of feeling that together.
I know people who didn't notice we'd left. 'Cause
Yeah.
we were just chatting on Facebook like we always did. So
Yeah.
it's very strange. But yeah, so I don't know if I'd say I miss home. And, you know, it's just a different way to manage a relationship with people.
Yeah, I mean,
That seems about
ultimately,
right.
we have chosen to come and do this. So
And
it's
this
like,
is home.
yeah.
Like, that's definitely true. Like, Indy became home 1 day after we moved on board. Because we had forever to think about it. We'd been imagining this exact boat layout, this lifestyle for years. So it didn't take a long time to feel like we were at home.
Yeah, definitely. And it will be really awesome when we have people come to visit and see it. And just, it'll open our eyes to how lucky we are to get to experience this as well, because it becomes so normal so quickly. It's very strange. I just want to keep talking so that you don't have to tell me anything.
Your forfeit. Oh, it's grim. Bryony has to fix the toilet.
Oh, that's so gross! Fixing the toilet, by the way, is like taking apart all of the plumbing that connects the toilet to the black water tanks.
It's going to be all over your hands, and it's going to stink.
It is going to be foul.
Again, remember, it's a 17-year-old boat, and she was in charter with like 100,000 people staying on this boat who didn't know how to look after the toilets or how to flush them properly or any of that. That's all there waiting for you.
Delight.
I
I don't think we need a toilet. I'm just going to leave it.
I'm not going to help, that's for sure. You're on your own with that one. I'll point you to the tools.
This game didn't work because I definitely deserve this if I fix the toilet.
Yeah, but you haven't yet. And this is all mine.
Just going to get some sugar inside me. Consolation prize.
So on that note, that's probably a good game of Cake or Death. We'll do this again sometime.
Cake or death. Can't believe you licked them all.